Hello sir, my name is Vijay Lakshmi and here are my group members. First of all, Rishikesh Singh Rana, Vikas Kumar Kaushal and Vishnu Kumar Prajapati. We have proposed our research in on the topic two-level authentication in the network, which we use in web, ATM and smartphone. Here we have included all the contents, introductions, graphical password usage, classification of existing techniques, security issues, implementation issues, proposed approach, and then its result, then conclusion, and then the future work. First of all, we'll come to the introduction part. Here, for the security purposes, simple persons use the text-based password, as it is difficult to remember password. As if we set the easy password, then it is easy to remember, but easy to guess also. And if we set the hard password, means a long password, it is hard to remember for us also, and also it is hard to guess. So we used to write the password anywhere, or we set the same password for the different account. So for this alternative approaches, we should use graphical password. Here what we mean about the graphical password. Here we use pictures as a password. And why we use pictures? Because as we know that human can easily remember pictures better than the text. Text-based password have many problems. It should be hard to remember. And the biometric based authentication are expensive and inconvenient. And biometric is also a part of person's identity. And for basic privacy concern, we have used the graphical password. And what is the graphical password usage? If we use the large number of pictures to set a password, then it offers a better resistance to the dictionary attack. So it can be used in workstations, web login applications, ATM machines and mobile devices. Now I should hand over to my friend.
Myself Vishnu Kumar Prajapati. Here I am talking about the classification of image-based password. So image-based password have two types. The first one is a recognition-based technique, and second one is a recall-based technique. In the recognition-based technique, the set of images and the user passes the authentication by recognizing and identifying the image he selected during the time of registration stage. So basically, here we are selecting a number of images at the time of registration. In the recall-based technique, first one is a Dhamija and Paris schemes. In this scheme, basically the pick several pictures out of many choice, identifying them later in authenticating using hash visualization. Hash visualization is the function which maintain the table of the records and which give a set automatically generated a set of pictures. Take longer to create graphical password. Here password space factorial n upon factorial n minus k. So n is the total number of pictures and k number of pictures selected as a password. The second one is a Brado and Bergate schemes. In this schemes, system display a number of pass objects among many other objects. Users click inside the convex hull boundaries by pass object. Author suggested using 1000 objects, which makes the display very curved and object almost in index mirror. The password space, here the password space factorial n upon factorial k, factorial n minus k. Here k is the number of pre-register object and n is the number of picture object. And the second one is a recognition based technique. Then in the recognition based technique, there are two types of recall based technique. First one is a DAS, draw or select. First we are choosing the selection. First we are choosing a selection in a picture in the form of 2D. So basically here we are going to making a shape. We are going to making a shape, and shape is basically first thing order drawing. Like we are drawing E space. So here we are starting in the E and how to going on the end of the E. So this password we are going to authorize it. We are going to selecting them. Then remember what is our sequence. So user draw a simple picture on a 2D grid and coordinate of the grid occupied by the picture as stored in the order of redrawing has to test the same grid in the same sequence. In authentication, user studies shown in drawing sequence is hard to remember. And the second one is a password scheme. So in the password scheme, user click on any place of the images to create a password.
Talking about the various types of the attacks on this type of authentication system. The first is brute force attack. This type of attack uses an algorithm that produces every possible combination of the words to break the password. However, graphical user authentication proves to be more resistant to the brute force attack since the attacker needs to produce all the possible mouse motion to imitate the password, especially when trying to recall the graphical password. Dictionary attack. This ingenious attack uses words found in the dictionary to check if any were used as a password by the user, as by making use of the large number of photo gallery it could be based on the time using this method. Spyware attack. This attack uses a small application installed accidentally or secretly on the user's computer to record the sensitive data during mouse movement or key press. This form of malware secretly stores these information and then reports back to the attacker's system. With a few exceptions, keyloggers and listening spywares are unproven in the identifying mouse movement to crack the graphical password. Shoulder surfing attack. This kind of attack is more common in the crowded areas where it is not uncommon for people to stand behind another queuing at the ATM machine. The best way to avoid PIN number being recorded or remembered by the attacker is to properly shield the keypad when entering the PIN number. These were the attacks that we considered. Now talking about the registration process that we have proposed.
Hello, I am Vikas Kumar Kaushal. In this paper, we have taken two levels of authentication. In the first level, we have used text-based passwords, and in the second level, we have used graphical user password. Here, we have explained the registration process and the login in process, in which the first one is registration process. In that, the user have to fill all his details, including some 15 to 20 general questions, which may include his pet, his father, his school name, and it can be his personal things also, and an appropriate user ID and password is assigned to him. Now after this, in the second step, there is a category wise distribution of his choice. Now here there is a mark of category which is showing a number of images. It can be an architecture, it can be a dog, it can be a species, it can be a flora, fauna, anything. And according to his choice, he can lock his categories. And after the locking of the categories, there is a step known as login in which a general or usual method, that is user ID and password, will be entered to enter in a site or in a secure domain. Now after that, the second process will be a category wise or graphical user wise authentication. Categories which the user has selected at the time of registration is presented in a random order with a change in alphanumeric character, that is also a random one, and it is given at the subscript of the image. The user have to enter his categories name with the subscript into the text box for the login. If the number of the attempt increases at this level, because if there is a mismatch or maybe illegal user is taking the place of user, then there is a general question, the 3-4 general question will be asked to authenticate the user. Now after this, finally the result, the novel technique which we have discussed here, enhance the user authentication level and increase the security to make the user as well as his data a secured one. Now the conclusion what we have drawn is graphical user passwords are easy to memorize as compared to the text one, and text one can be hacked, but to break the combination of both of this is bit a difficult task. So to avail the two-level authentication is a better choice. Future work. The future work here, the graphical password are still immature. So people need to identify or explore more and more for this, and alternative research should be conducted to present this in a manner allowing the systematic examination and comparison of each schem's main characteristics, and this can be implemented in the web, ATM, smartphones, etc.